Guys, welcome back to the Footy Show. This is Offside. We've got Michael Carrick, who is the new interim manager until the end of the season for Manchester United. And as reported by Sky Sports, Carrick emerged as the front runner for the role after the club held discussions with the former midfielder and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer following the departure of Ruben Amorim on January the 5th. United have only Premier League to focus on, and following their 2-1 defeat to Brighton in the FA Cup on Sunday, which was overseen by caretaker boss Darren Fletcher. Plans to appoint an interim head coach were accelerated following that defeat. Carrick's first game in charge will be Saturday's Manchester Derby. Joining him in his backroom staff is Gareth Southgate's former England assistant coach Steve Holland, will be Carrick's number 2, while ex-Middlesbrough assistant and Leeds player Jonathan Woodgate, current under-21s coach Travis Binion, and Johnny Evans, who rejoined the club during Darren Fletcher's interim period, will also form part of the back rooms. Some people that were still there before he came. So these are a few words from the new interim manager. We're ready to pull everyone together. Having the responsibility to lead Manchester United is an honour, Carrick said. I know what it takes to succeed here. My focus is now on helping the players to reach the standards that we expect at this incredible club, which we know that this group is more than capable of producing. I have worked with a number of players already and have obviously continued to watch the team closely. I have total belief in their talents and dedication and ability to be successful here. There's still a lot of fight for this season. We're ready to pull everyone together and give the fans the performances that their loyal support deserves. Director of Football Jason Wilcox added, Michael's an excellent coach and knows exactly what it takes to win at Manchester United. So what we pretty much have here is Carrick has pretty much got, someone that he's worked with in Jonathan Woodgate, and then you've got, former England manager Southgate's number 2, and then you've got the under-21s from Travis Binion, who's been there pretty much, I think, for the last 5 years, and he's also been coaching the under-21s, and then Johnny Evans joins again. Now, if we look into Carrick's managerial career after he left Manchester United, in the 21-22 season in the Premier League, and only won 1 and drew 1. And in the Champions League at that time as well, he won 1 and record was clean. So the main formation that he primarily used during that time was a 4-2-3-1, barring the Premier League where in his one game he used the 4-4-2. So then after that he went on to manage Middlesbrough, and then he was in the Championship. 10 wins, 4 draws, 8 losses. FA Cup, 1 loss. Championship playoff, 1 draw, 1 loss. Then the next year, Championship, 20 wins, 9 draws, 17 losses. EFL Cup, 6 wins, 1 loss. And FA Cup, lost 1 game. So in his 3 years straight, he's lost the FA Cup repeatedly. Championship, the last year of his managerial career until he left. 18 wins, 10 draws, 18 losses. So looks like it just got worse towards the end. AFL Cup, 1 win, 1 loss, and then FA Cup again, 1 loss. He's the 4-2-3-1 the whole time, so looks like he's probably going to use that formation hopefully till the end of the season. Now, what does this bring for the team? Well, I think, was it any different than Darren Fletcher, who's also a former Man United man? I would say in terms of a guy that's had more experience being a manager as opposed to being a coach for, an age group like the under-18s. Not taking anything away from Fletcher, like he's not a bad manager or a coach. I just think he didn't have enough experience at that role, or if not, I believe the club would have kept him anyway. Now, it was the race between Carrick and Ole. Ole, if he took the job, was also expecting to be given a shot at being the full-time manager after the interim stint was over, after the end of the season, which, to be fair, we've gone down that road I'm not about to go and do the whole Ole thing again. Ole's at the wheel. Yeah, tell me how you feel. Like, no, I'm not gonna do all that. Carrick was his part of his coaching staff during the time that Ole was the manager at the time. So Carrick's been there. He's seen it. He knows what it takes. And I believe from the discussions within the club, Carrick said, yeah, he's fine to take on the job, but he's not gonna take it on any further than what he's required to do. So, which I think is great. The only twist that, from what I've heard in the last few days, is that the hierarchy, they want Champions League football. You guys are expecting too much. Like, how about at least make a European spot? With the way that the team is now, like, are they even ready for a push? I don't know. With the last abysmal performances that we've had, it's just ridiculous. And then moving forward, Carrick's first game in charge is the Manchester Derby at home against Manchester City. And then I think from the games that Carrick did manage as manager, 3 games that Michael Carrick managed before he left the last time he was in charge was win against Arsenal, Arteta, win against Villarreal, Unai Emery when he was there in Spain, and then draw against Chelsea. So that's a pretty respectable record, and he did not lose a single game while in charge. So while I think that's a positive, he wasn't looking long term. He was just there to steer the ship and make sure that the team was in a good position for the next man in charge. So what does this mean moving forward? I think that he's been brought in to stabilize the team as a whole and then just get them on the right track. But see, the problem is when you get a guy that has a specific formation like the 4-2-3-1, it begs the question, like, what is the next manager going to do? Are they going to keep the same formation and be told by the hierarchy, look, this is what this guy's been running, or this is what we run, we want you to play this way? But then again, there's a lot of discussion that being said that the formation wasn't the problem. Amarim wasn't the problem. It all goes back to the same problem, which is the hierarchy. And like I said in the last video, as long as these guys are in charge, nothing's going to change. But to be fair, I like the look of Carrick's new coaching staff. They're solid. You've got, former teammate that's with him. You've got a guy that's already had experience at the international level, being with under Gareth Southgate. Then you've got Carrick's former number 2 at Middlesbrough that's joined him Man United. So I think it's a good mix. What to look forward to for the game? I'm not gonna be optimistic, but I'm gonna stay positive and just think that we can get a result, because usually when we're playing against top teams, we just tend to do a madness and then just do reckless things and just end up like literally winning. The last time we went to Anfield, 2-1, and Boomer said, hold one goal. Where's Maguire? Hold the second one. So, Man United, when we click in, we turn up for these big games. It's the games against teams in the bottom half of the table that are very concerning. Wolves, West Ham. Apart from that, like Aston Villa, top team this year in the season, doing very well. They're probably going to stay top form and make a run in the Champions League, but I don't think that far. We've got AFCON guys are back, except for Mazraoui. So you've got Mbumo, Ahmad. Slot these guys in, let them do their thing, and we just got to get a result. So I can only think positively. I'm not going to look far ahead and tell you that Carrick is going to do a job where we will get European football, but I think he's the right person that's at the right time to steady the ship at this club, to at least give us a good foundation, a good platform, make the fans feel energized again, and just know that we have, at least the team is ready to fight. With kickoff tomorrow, Man City versus Manchester United, and then we'll wrap it up with the full time. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe, and do all that good stuff.